Good morning, student. We'll be starting today's session. Last week we have given some overview of the syllabus, how the syllabus contents are they are to read for us. And there we have given some syllabus content. We have discussed some syllabus contents beyond. Uh, discuss the pass mark and also important thing of syllabus content. And we have discussed some current issues with regard to Sri Lankan banking industry and Sri Lanka and world economy. And important thing is the syllabus contents which we have to learn in few weeks, in coming weeks for your exam. And so only thing I will be concentrating today is issue management portion. I will take some time to explain this issue management syllabus topic because the issue management, the contents of the issue management, equities and debt securities, relevant to other subject topics as well. So these subject topics are interconnected. Some, for example, if you get to know the treasury bonds, so the treasury bonds calculations and the project appraisal are all going hand in hand. So basically, if you learn some topic under this investment banking, some topics are interconnected. So basically, you need a base to learn the next topic. So what I'm telling is, basically just concentrate what we are teaching, what we are learning in the classroom, right? So basically on that you can also watch later if you have any doubts, and if you have any doubts with regard to the syllabus contents or the material what we are giving and what we are teaching, please let us know, bring it to the class and we can discuss for the benefit of all. Right, I have uploaded two PowerPoint presentation. Only thing I'll be explaining the uh, contents, contents in the sense the required information with you all. I'll be not going in sequence. I'm not following the sequence which are available in the PowerPoint presentation. So basically, if you feel that this is not in your PowerPoint presentation and this is important for you to write, please note it down somewhere because everything is not in your PowerPoint presentation. So I have given the PowerPoint presentation only the main things, right? So I'll be explaining uh, this PowerPoint presentation and the additional contents as well. So only thing you have to write it down somewhere and you will need this later, right? Mm. So what do you mean by issue management? Under issue management, what we are learning is basically initial learning material is government securities. Government securities are the last week we have discussed in little. So what is government securities? Government securities basically we will be teaching, will be learning treasury bills and treasury bonds, right? Treasury bills and treasury bonds. So the remember now you know sometimes you may know these things, but the only thing we need some time to answer this exam in your exam. Now only thing you have to keep in mind, treasury bills are risk-free instrument. The treasury bills are risk-free instruments. Why do we say so? Treasury bills are treasury bills are government. One second. Now this tube I have not uploaded to you. The only thing I'll give it to you, I'll just show it to you. I will be giving you later. You can have it. Just have a look at. Now see, treasury bills. Treasury bills are the government rupee denominated instrument. What do you mean? Risk-free instrument. Why treasury bills are issued? Treasury bills are issued to take money to the government. Where? From the public. What money? LKR, rupees. So are there any instruments to take money to the government of Sri Lanka in dollar terms? Yes. Not tested so far. The instrument is SLB. Right? That's a local issue. Now treasury bills are local issued. Treasury bonds are locally issued. Who has issued? Who is the issuer? Central Bank of Sri Lanka. So that's how the government comes into the scene. On behalf of the government only central bank issues. Understand the relationship. Who issues? Now see, issuing office. Public Debt Department, Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka issue of treasury bill. Who issues? Central Bank, Public Debt Department on behalf of the government. So why the government issues treasury bill? To take the LKR funds to the government. So this is the instrument they are using. They don't borrow from us. Government is not borrowing from us. This is the one of the method they are using. Similar to borrowing. Basically you invest. We invest in the government. Is there any risk? No. There is no risk. Why? This is in reported currency of Sri Lanka. What's the reported currency? LKR. So the government issues in LKR. No? Now say, generally we think governments are not default. We presume that. But there are governments who has defaulted their debts. Lebanese, Argentina, these the governments are, but generally they don't default local debt. Why? They can print whatever the amount they need. Money printing. They can print it. True that there are other factors, other impacts are there, inflation and all. But they can print and they can settle it. But only thing these governments are defaulted, print. So they can't print dollars. Can the government print dollars? They can't. So that's where we are stuck. But rupee terms, we understand, we presume there is no risk. So the treasury bills and treasury bonds are treated as two instruments which are risk-free. So why do we need this risk-free instrument? Why do we need this rate? Treasury bill rates are important for our banks' product to price. The bank's products are priced, deposit products especially, based on the treasury bill rate. Now say your bank is offering 6%, whereas the example say treasury bills are giving 6.5% 1 year. If I am the customer, if I am the investor, if I am the depositor, do I come to you? No, I don't. Why? I am going to the government and asking investment in government treasury bill. So now understand this. Government bank and the government. Are there any risk? in relation to the government, fully owned government bank. Now see, what is the best rating we can have it? Triple B. But NSB has it. 1 year treasury bill rates, yes, the last week 5.24. 1 year treasury bill. How much you pay for your fixed deposit 1 year? More than that anyway, right? We say 6%, for example. So why do you pay more? Why the government banks are paying more than the treasury bill rate? Why do you pay more? Generally, why do you pay more? Now, example, understand how commercial banks are there. They take the one commercial banks and take finance company. There are similar deposits are there. Everything is similar, but the rate wise is different. Why? Why the finance companies are paying more for deposits? We as investors, we think investing in finance companies are riskier than investing in commercial banks. Is that true? Yes. How do you know this? I say, "Oh, how do you say this? Finance companies are less risky. So commercial banks or the banks are risky. Can somebody say, no, you are wrong? So I'm asking him to prove it. How do you prove it? How do you say private banks or the commercial banks, the banks in Sri Lanka are more riskier, or the riskier than finance companies in Sri Lanka? There should be a base. You can't say just literally. You can't say that. So the third party comes into the scene. Who are they? Rating agencies. There is a topic on your, not the topic, but we'll be learning as an additional syllabus content with your rating agencies. The rating agencies are giving a independent third party opinion on the debt payment of a particular instrument. Now they are giving a rating agencies are giving an opinion or the credit rating on the government as well. Fitch Rating, Moody's, and S&P. So these are the internationally accepted rating agencies. Now, last week I have seen SEC has given another local company to register as rating agency. LKA, if I'm not mistaken, Lanka Domestic LKR, I think. I can't exactly remember the name. There is another one, the Pakistan Collaboration Company. Sri Lanka has so, and HNB Commercial NDB has a shareholding of that particular company. Another company has come to Sri Lankan market to have rating. Only we have ITRA and Fitch. Locally, we have ITRA company and we have another company, Fitch also giving local rating. Another company registered last week. And the only thing what you can do is they are giving an independent opinion to you. They are giving independent opinion to you on your company. This is how you are performing. This is how your financial stability. So they are giving opinion on your company. They are giving opinion on your bank. To whom? Outside prospective investors. So they give finance companies lesser rating. So then we can understand, right, okay, this company's rating is this. If I invest even at a higher yield, I may carrying a risk. Like that you are deciding. Basically banks are having less risk. Banks less risky than the finance companies. Why? So the reason is why they pay more for their deposit because of that. So you need to attract people come and invest in finance companies rather than going people to commercial banks in Sri Lanka, right? So then you have to pay more, 10% and 15% example. Generally, where do you invest? Two yields, same instrument, 10 and 12, without considering anything. Just think about the yield. Where do you exactly go? 15. Anybody who pays more, I will be investing. Then only I think about the risk. Everything is similar, then there is no risk, nothing. So anybody who pays higher yield, I'll be going and investing. So for you to attract customers, you have to pay more. That's what finance companies are doing. So important thing is risk-free rate of these treasury bonds are important for you to price your deposit and attract people into treasury bond market. So this is the typical treasury bill advertisement which published on papers. It is not uploaded, right? This is the latest instrument. Now see, date of auction, 14 July. Next week, the latest. Right? This is how the government of Sri Lanka take money from the public through treasury bill. Who issues? Remember, the public debt department by Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Right? Now, treasury bills are basically short term. Why do you say so? 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. So can't you invest in the government long term? Yes, you have. Then what's the amount? What's the instrument we have? Treasury bond. Now treasury bond, remember, short term. Treasury bond initially short term. Now treasury bond also money market instrument. What do you mean by that? Now see this chart. Money market instrument, capital market instrument, foreign exchange market, derivative markets, commodity market. These are the only 5 markets available in the world. There may be different markets addition to this, but these are the main markets. But with you, I'll be discussing. So we'll be discussing only first 4 markets except commodity market, which is not available in Sri Lanka. Now there is no market for gold in Sri Lanka. There is no market for oil. There is no market for wheat, corn, like that. Sugar. There are markets for those items, commodity markets in the world, not in Sri Lanka. Right? So we are not that sophisticated to have the commodity market, but we have other markets. Right? We have other markets. So we'll be basically, I'll be giving a small knowledge update only commodity market. Right? Commodity market, now when we are doing the foreign currency transaction, we will be discussing one of the derivative instrument called futures. Futures are basically for who? Commodity market. Right? Now, like pledge loans. So when we are coming to that topic, we'll be learning. Now see, treasury bills are money market instrument. Money market instrument means everything will finish within 1 year. Everything will finish 1 year. 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. Those are the periods of treasury bills. Treasury bills are money market instrument, meaning short term. Treasury bonds are more than that. It's a capital market instrument. Shares, debenture, and also you can write it debenture. Corporate bonds are very similar to debenture, right? One can say corporate bonds, one can say debenture. Short term is a long term. Now go and see your bank recently issued the treasury bond, debenture, 5 years. Generally we go for 5 years. Some banks have seen issue 3-year instrument as well, but generally we go for 5 years. Foreign market, foreign currency market. So we have to deal with foreign banks as well, foreign country as well. Why? We have to do international trade. Import and export. We can't survive ourselves. We can't be self-sufficient in Sri Lanka as well. So we are import-oriented country. So we should encourage people to export. We should encourage people to produce locally. But now you must have seen we are dealing with a foreign payments. Now these days we should be ashamed ourselves. We don't produce anything. We don't produce as Sri Lanka, as a nation, we should be ashamed ourselves. Why? We have ability, we have capacity, we have capability to do, but we don't do. We don't do. So the even at a import restriction prevailing in Sri Lanka now, as I told you last week, import amount, the amount import, the value of the import has gone up compared to 2020. It has gone up by 20% compared to 2000. I'm talking about only central bank has issued April figures, but if you have uh, the May figures, I have seen the May figures also similar, 20% increase compared to 2020 January to April, 2021 January to April, 20% increase. Now we are actually going under import restriction. So see the more. So we can see somebody can say that crude oil, the oil bill has increased, oil amount has increased, oil prices have gone up. That's true. Oil prices have gone up. We have not seen in recent past at these prices. True, the largest importer is crude oil, coal oil. So when the prices have increased, you have to import at that prices. That's true. That is one thing. But I'm talking about the import items who bring into Sri Lanka. It's amazing. When I see, I have never seen that people are importing such items. But those are allowable items under export. So what I'm telling is, we can produce here in Sri Lanka, but we don't do that. So it's profitable to bring to Sri Lanka rather than producing here. That's what actually happens. So the government should encourage local producers to produce this. So otherwise, we can ease this situation sometime, right? So these are the markets we'll be learning. We'll be talking about throughout our syllabus. Right? So treasury bill is a money market instrument. Why? Short-term instrument. Everything will go off within 3 months. Now see, 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year. Now see, 3 months, not 90 days, but it's 91 days here. 6 months, not 180 days, but here 182 days. 1 year, not 365 or not 366, but here it's 364 days. When you are doing a calculation which is not tested by the examiner so far, you have to take, if it is 3 months treasury bill, if the examiner has not given the tenor, the period, and he says 3 months treasury bill. So then you have to take not 91, not 90, number of days. Remember? If it is 6 months, take 182 days, not the 180 days. So those are the important things when you're doing calculations. The examiner has not tested, so we'll be doing the calculation, we'll be dealing with this. Now, understanding point is treasury bill is a government issuance. Government takes money from the public. Does it mean that foreigners can't invest in treasury bills? No, they can. Foreigners are allowed to invest in government securities, meaning treasury bill and treasury bill. What are the government securities? Treasury bill and treasury bill. So foreigners are allowed. But they have to invest in rupees. Now you know the foreign holding of government securities has come down to 0.032%. Whereas we had the 2015 11.36% from the outstanding foreigners who held. It has come to foreigners have pulled out their investment. Why foreigners are going out of Sri Lanka? One thing is they have better prospects. Now you know in US there is a inflation going on. Food inflation we have seen month of March has come to 5%. So when a country's inflation goes up, obviously interest rate has to go up. But does it happen in Sri Lanka? No. We are not following the fundamentals. The fundamentals are not working in Sri Lanka. So we have seen that the inflation of CCPI and NCPI has gone up. Two indices have gone up. But what has happened to the AWPL? They, this this AWPLR rate has come down to 5.5% from 5.82%, which is previous week. The fundamentals are not working. So generally, when the country's interest rate goes up, obviously uh, uh, inflation goes up, interest rate should also go up. Why? You can't have the compensation. You need more than inflation. While you are when you do investment, you need more than the inflation. That's your expectation. If you can't recover your inflation, what is the purpose of having inflation? What is the purpose of having investment? Right? Now, yesterday I saw a video on the Lebanese government. Right? So, Lebanon, the government of Lebanon is a defaulter. They did pay. Now they have money. Their currency is Lebanese pound. They have money, but only thing they don't have items to purchase. It's a entire thing is imported. Lebanese government, and they have a ration. They are not giving full thing, but fuel they are not giving. One third only you can have it. Pharmaceutical items also the similar. That's a disaster, right? So it's very difficult country, very difficult to live. People who are living in Lebanon. So actually, country has collapsed basically. So it is a default country. Foreign debts are default by Lebanese government. They didn't have money to pay. They don't have foreign exchange. Their exchange rate has depreciated by 80%, whereas our exchange rate has depreciated by 6.5 or 6.6% during this 5 month period. So think about the country currency is depreciated by 80%. 35% is the unemployment rate in Lebanon. So the country has come to virtually collapse. It's a very difficult situation. So there are countries like that. Huh? There are countries like that who suffer a lot. Now see, treasury bill, in treasury bills also foreigners can invest. But only thing when the foreigners, why foreigners, now see now, there was a cap to invest by the foreigners on government security. If I say government security, that is treasury bill and treasury bill, right? So there was a cap, 12%. Total outstanding amount, foreigners can have it only 12%. අපි කියමු 100ක් ඉෂුව කරලා තියෙනවා outstanding treasury bills foreigners රට hold කරන්න පුළුවන් 12යි ඊට වඩා. Now reduced this has been reduced by the government to 10%. Again, this has been reduced by the government, different governments, reduced to 5%. Why this has happened? If we are encouraging investment, foreign investment to Sri Lanka, why we are bringing down, why we have brought down the percentage holding of foreigners in government securities? Why we have done this? Can somebody say that? There will be a question on this, not tested, but we'll be discussing this now. If you can remember, in 2018, our rupee has depreciated by 13 rupees. 152 we have started 2018 January. We ended up with 152 plus 13 and 65 lakh. So it's very difficult situation at 13. I'm sorry, 13% for the 30 rupees. Come to 180 level. 180 level. So what is the major reason? So what is the major reason? You have started 152, you ended up with 180. So what is the major reason happened in 2018? Mainly, foreigners are withdrawing, foreigners are pulling out their investment. Now we have started 2019 182 level. We ended up with 181. We entire year we have a exchange rate appreciation. Rupee has appreciated. 2018 is the year we had the Easter Sunday attack, but still we had a rupee appreciation. But 2018 we had a 13% depreciation. And so if the foreigners started to pull out their investment, there is a huge impact on our exchange rate. So you can't cater it. So you have more demand. People are asking, foreigners are asking more demand to take it out. So that's what happened in 2018. We ended up with 180, 182 level. 13%, 13% depreciation. So people have withdrawn, pull out their investment out of government securities and share markets. So the main reason is why political instability we are experiencing in that. So for the investors to come to and invest in Sri Lanka, there should be a political stability. And you know, when an investor wants to invest in a country, they are looking at the ease of doing business index. You must have heard this. So we are at the 90th place. We were at 87, but we have worsened. We have now reached to 90%. 90. So we should come to a proper place then. And also, those are the indicators foreigners are looking at. Foreigners are thinking whether we should invest in government of Sri Lanka, any institute. So we should have given all kind of incentives for them to come to Sri Lanka, right? There should be policy wise, the policy level changes should be happening. And something that we'll discuss. Now see, foreigners also can invest in government securities. Treasury bill. But generally foreigners we have seen investments done in treasury bonds. Why? They need long-term investments. So why foreigners are reluctant to invest in government securities? One thing is they have better prospects in US. Now the US 5 year now US government is also issuing treasury bills like this. Any government in the world. This is a common. Now some countries are maintaining a negative interest rate. Example Japan and Eurozone countries. When you deposit something, you don't get anything. You are charged. Japan and Euro countries. Inflation have come down. These countries need to spend more. So they are not encouraging people to invest. They are not encouraging people to deposit. You invest in other instruments, other ventures. Do some other investment rather than depositing money in a bank, but completely different compared to Sri Lanka. Right? We like depositing bank, getting interest rate, but not like other countries. They're encouraging people to invest. Now those are minus interest rate countries, minus interest rate regime, negative interest rate. They're encouraging not to deposit. Right? Now, basically, now the US, we call it US Treasuries. They are treasury bills, we call it US Treasury. So the 5 year treasury bill or a bond or whatever US Treasuries, what's the rate? It's 0.8%. 0.8%. How much we pay for 5 years? 2026 we'll be learning later. There is a 2026 market is going at 7.3% now in Sri Lanka. Whereas the US government pays 0.8%. 10 years, how much? US pays 1.4%. 1.4%. 30 years, how much they pay? 2%. But still, people are going there. People are going and investment at say 30 at 2%. But how much we pay for PFC? More than the rupee interest rate now, right? 7%, 6%, 6.5% we pay for dollars. Whereas the US pays 30 years, 2%. So why people are going there? Why the investments are going to US out of Sri Lanka? Why do they? Why are not that? Why do they? Why they are not coming to Sri Lanka? In the yield wise, we are better than them. One thing is the country rating. That's true. So they don't know what's happening in Sri Lanka. They only get to know the statement issued by the pre-rating agency. Now you must have seen last few weeks, during last the couple of weeks, the rating agency issued a rating, basically the statements on Sri Lanka, which is not good, right? So basically they are saying there is a default rate. Now see, we have a ISP, I told you last week, on 27th of July. We are fully ready to pay that. We can settle it. But only after that, after July, we have 1.4 billion foreign debt to settle. We have 1.4 billion debt to settle after we paying 1.1 billion on 27th of July. So that's the reason. That's why they are concerning. There might be a, but we have a track record. Track record. Sri Lanka has never defaulted anything. So I'm very much confident that the government will honor this payment. So we don't have to worry about it, and the government will protect. Only thing we have to give them was the settlement plan. How do you pay it? Now government has issued now soft transaction and borrowing from the country. That's what they are doing. So tourism income or not there. So we don't get foreign income. The only option is to borrow. Only option is to borrow. So otherwise we don't have any survival. Difficult to borrow. Rating agencies have downgraded Sri Lanka. So a lot of issues, right? But we'll have to manage. So everybody is suffering from this pandemic situation. So this is common, but we'll have to come out of this pandemic situation and have a better prospect. And we should tell foreign investors, no, look here, we have honored and we have made a settlement, no dues. So then people will think that okay, this is a default country and people might come to Sri Lanka for their education. So one thing is that. Other one is political instability. Now we don't have political instability. We have a two-third government. We don't have anything like that. So why the people are moving there? Basically, they are not worrying. They are actually thinking that their investments are risky. One thing. Even at a lesser interest rate, they go and invest there. Another important factor is when you invest in Sri Lanka, you have to invest in rupees. When you want to foreign investors, I'm talking about the foreign investors, right? When you want to go out of Sri Lanka, you want to now finish the 5-year debenture. You have invested in 5-year treasury bond. Now finish, and you need to take out investment. You need to take out the investment. So then you need to take out whatever the amount you have invested. Your investment has been done in LKR. Now you need to take it out of your investment with the whatever the yield you earn in dollars. When you need to convert rupees into dollars, you have additional demand. Banks have the additional demand. That's what actually happened in 2018 due to the political instability. People are withdrawing their money, and they need dollars, foreigners. So that we have constant or the lesser supply of dollars, whereas demand has gone up. So the prices went up. So today you come to Sri Lanka, it's a $1 you bring here. $1 you bring here. And you will be converting into prevailing exchange rate 200. Now 200 you will be investing today for 5 years. Debenture, 5-year treasury bond. So after 5 years, you check the market, what is the exchange rate for me to convert back, reconvert. Now you see exchange has moved up to depreciated. Rupee has depreciated 210. You brought 200, converted amount 200 plus the revenue plus the interest income, you have earned 205. That is your final amount, rupee term. Now you need to convert. What's the conversion rate? You have done this 5 years ago, 200. Now you go and check the market, go and speak to the bank. Now he says 210. How much you have rupees? 210. How much you have rupees? 205 with the interest. 200 you invested plus interest 205. Exchange rate has gone up by 10 rupees. 210. Are you making any profit? No, you are losing. That is one thing. So we don't have swap mechanism. We don't have exchange derivative instrument to hedge the foreign exchange exposure for 5 years. But recently, government has 2020 December September, government has introduced a new scheme. Any foreigner comes to Sri Lanka and invest in government treasury bonds, they can have it zero swap. What do you mean by zero swap? Today you convert at 200 example, end of the period, whatever the amount you generate also will be converted at 200. So no exchange risk, no exposure to foreign exchange. No exposure. So basically we have instrument now, government has introduced up to 25 billion. People can come and invest in Sri Lanka without having or without exposing to foreign exchange market. So still why the people are not coming to Sri Lanka, we'll have to think about twice due to the uncertainty of their investment. Right? So the treasury bills are rupee denominated, short-term instrument or risk-free instrument, and there is no coupon on this. What do you mean by that? There is no coupon. We'll be learning later what this coupon. Now, when you say treasury bonds, there is a coupon involved. Now, I'll show it to you. This one also I have not uploaded. It has recently published in the sense yesterday only they have published. This is the advertisement of treasury bond. Now see, treasury bond is a long-term instrument, capital market instrument. Now see this one, which we have not seen in treasury bills. 6.3%. 2023 A. A means forget about the A. That is whatever the identification number of central bank. Now take into consideration 6.3% 2023. What is this? This is the series. That's what central bank says. Series. 630 is what? Coupon interest rate. 2023 is what? Maturity comes in 2023. Today 2021. Maturity comes 2021. So what's the tenor of this? 2 years. 2 years. 2-year treasury bond. See this one. 9% coupon 2028. 7 years. 7 years. What's the coupon rate? 6.3%. 2023, 2028, 9%. Coupon. There is a difference between coupon and the yield. We'll be learning later in forced relations. This is the primary market. Word is familiar to you. What do you mean by primary market? Do we have other markets except primary? Yes, we have secondary market. So in terms of treasury bill, in terms of treasury bonds, primary market is between whom? Government or the central bank and the primary dealers. Who are the primary dealers? These are the primary dealers. See, we have 10 primary dealers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Equity security. It's a company fully owned by the government exchange. Bank of Ceylon is a primary dealer. Capital Alliance Company, primary dealer. Commercial Bank of Ceylon, primary dealer. First Capital. Now see, equity is 1, Capital Alliance is 2, First Capital 3. There are Wealth Trust Securities 4. There are 4 individual companies except banks. Other 6 are banks. NSP Fund Management is a company. There's another one. Company, but NSP is bank, NSP company, and NSP Fund Management is fully owned by the NSP. There is also going as a company. So the People's Bank, Sampath Bank, Ceylon Bank, Commercial Bank, and Bank of Ceylon. Those are the primary dealers of banks. So the banks can be worked as, banks can be used to participate at this treasury bond auction. They have been given the license as primary dealer. So they are the people who can be asked, who can be allowed to participate at this auction. Now we have 22 million in country. If everybody wants to invest in treasury bill, all these bids come to the central bank disaster. So these 10 people can be participated. These 10 people can give bids to this particular auction. This is auction, right? These are treasury bill and treasury bonds are auction. These are auction. This is the word. Auction. This is an auction. It's treasury bill and treasury bonds are auction based. So the primary dealers can put bids. Right? Now we'll be learning how these rates are, everything is calculated by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. But the only thing you have to identify, understand this two advertisement, the contents of the advertisement, which is very important. Examiner has tested many times. This was tested recently. Now we discussed, can we participate at the auction? No, we can't. Why? I am not a primary dealer. I am not a primary dealer. I can't be participate. I can't. Then if I want to purchase treasury bill, I have to go to the secondary market and purchase. Once this auction, now say equity securities put a bid and they're successful. Okay, bids are closed now. Who is having the treasury bill? Now he has invested, equity has invested, equity is having treasury bill. If I want to invest in treasury bill, I should contact equity or one of these 10 people, 10 primary dealers and ask. But equity does not give at the same rate, give us successful at the auction. They should also have a profit. There is a slight difference, slight reduction of offering rate to the secondary market people. We'll be learning, don't worry. Rate adjustment also will be learning. Now, in Sri Lanka, we always go by the treasury bill, government securities yield, not the price. The price එක කිව්වම අපිට දැන් රුපියල් 100ට ගත්ත එකක් 110ට විකුණුවා ගියාම we know that 10 rupee profit. But 100ට ගත්ත එකක් 90ට විකුණුවා ගියාම we know that we have a loss of 10 rupees. But if you say your good bids were successful, treasury bill auction එකේ treasury bond or treasury bill auction bids successful වුණා 5 example. If I want to invest in treasury bill, equity has treasury bill successful bids which government has given to them at 5.5%. They are having it. They are in the books. It's an asset. Why equity has invested, equity has given money to the government. They have taken treasury. Now they can either they can maintain without selling, either they can sell it. Now they have decided to sell. Why I am going to equity and asking I need to invest in treasury. 5.5% the success rate. But equity gives me five successful at 5.5%. They are giving at 5.4%. 5.4%. So I'll be investing my money at 5.4% rather than the weighted average rate, the successful rate, which is known to me. It is published on the website, right? Central Bank website. After this auction, after this auction Wednesday, 2 by 2 3, they are publishing the result sheet. 3 months this much, 6 months this month, 1 year this much. This is the total amount bids received. This is the total amount accepted. This is the rate. So the rate is known to me. I'm asking same rate. So they say no, I can't give it. I need to have a profit. So they are giving it a lower rate than the successful rate. So basically I'll be investing my money at 5.4. So can't I get a 5.5%? Can. How? I can't put a bid. But you can. There is a method. If I have more than 5 million rupees with me, there is a threshold limit, 5 million minimum amount. If I have more than 5 million rupees with me, I can tell one of these primary dealers, one of these 10 primary dealers, okay, look here, I have 5 million. You invest at my rate. But what happens in the secondary market? I have to, if I am the investor, I have to invest at whose rate? Equity's rate. Equity says, no, I'll give you to 5.5%, 5.4%. You have to invest. If you don't like it, then you have to go to another primary. That's a different issue. But say everybody is saying 5.4. You have no option. You have to invest. If you want to invest in treasury. So can't I get 5.5%, which was given to equity? Yes, you can. There is a method. But you are not a primary dealer. You can't put bids. True. But you can tell one of these 10 primary dealers, okay, I have 5 million rupees. You put a bid on behalf of me at 5.5 or whatever the rate you like. Whatever the rate you like. So how do you decide the rate? Now say you have 5 million. How do you decide the rate? Now previously 5.25 1 year. You need to invest in 1 year. Government needs money. Government takes salary only. එහෙනම් මේක තව උඩට ගිහිල්ලා මේ ඉන්වෙස්ට්මන්ට් එක ගන්න මගේ. මම උඩින් ඒතොර මේක රේට් එක කිව්වනම් හරි. ඉස්සරහින් පුළුවන් නමුත් දැන් අර perpetual treasury scandal එකෙන් පස්සේ you should have you can't put market level rates. Government is salary වල 10% දාන්න එහෙම you can't do that. But you can put bid. But only thing there should be a proper rate in the same. Not the same rate, but that is the government pattern is the pressure bill rates are going up now. Very, very tiny way. 5.3, 2 tip bigger, 5.3, 5.2, 3 tip bigger, 5.24. Pick up it bigger. Right. So very, very negligent way, or not negligent, but very what do you call not a stressful situation. So basically it goes up like nothing. So we can't feel it. But true, risk-free rates are increasing. When the risk-free rates are increasing, obviously our deposit, bank deposit has to be should go up. But we are not doing it. Why? Very negligible manner only treasury bill rates are going up, increasing. So we don't feel it. Right? 1 pip, 2 pip like that. Right? So basically, I can tell one of these prime dealers, okay, you put my bids. So I'm asking equity, okay, I have 5 million. I'm of your customer. put this bid 5 million, 1 year treasury bill, next option, Wednesday, 5.3. Can you do that? Yes, you can do that. So then if the bids are successful, you can have it 5, your investment has been accepted by the government at 5.3. Then now you don't want to go to the secondary market and invest at a lower rate. Everybody can't do that now. Treasury investments are very low amounts. The minimum amount, some banks have 100,000, some banks have 10,000. And small people are encouraged to invest this treasury bill. Why? There is no risk. But only thing is very lower interest rate, very low yield. So people are now reluctant to invest in government treasury bills. Who are the people in now say? Now basically you go to banks for the FDs. Go to the bank for FDs. The bank pays more. Why do they pay more? They are risky. Investing in banks are risky than the government. Even at NSP, yes, they pay more than the treasury bill. Other than the government, every institution is the investment in every institution is a risk. So for you to pay more, for you to attract more, then you pay more. What's the difference now? 1 year treasury bill 5.24. For the easiness we say 5%. Bank pays 6%. What's the difference? Risk premium. Who pays? Other than the government instrument, other than the government institution. So even you invest in NSD, you are carrying the risk. If you invest in government, are you carrying a risk? No. When you invest in NSP or banks or a government fully owned, why I took NSP is fully owned by the government. They are the only bank who has AAA rating. Other two state banks are not. They don't have AAA. They have a AA minus. Right. So the largest, the best, but the highest credit rating and fully owned by the government bank is NSB. When you invest in deposit there, you are carrying a risk. Now say you have invested, you have deposited 2 million rupees in banks, is it commercial or private or whatever. Since we have taken fully owned government bank, AAA rating, which is example only I take this NSB, right? 2 million you invest. NSB collapse, example only, right? Bank up. How much you get as a compensation? You have invested 2 million. Are you getting 2 million? You don't. Earlier it was 600,000 only you are entitled to have it. Now they have increased to 1 million. I think. You don't get no, you can't get more than. So investing in government of Sri Lanka. Government of Sri Lanka is not defaulting. We presume that they don't do it. So basically they are settling everything to you on the maturity with the interest. There is no collapse. There are governments in the world which are collapsed, but we presume that governments are not collapsed. So that's why we call this everywhere, anywhere in the world. US treasuries, that is we call treasury bill risk-free rate. In Sri Lanka, risk-free rate. There is no risk in investing in government in their local currency. But investing in other than the government, are you carrying a risk? Of course. Fully owned by the government, AAA rating, of course. That's why you pay more. That's why these banks pay more than the treasury bill rate. So understand what's the difference? Risk premium. Risk premium. So again also you remember that treasury bill rates are lower than the treasury bond rates. Why? 3 months FD එකට වඩා 1 year FD එක yield එක නැත්නම් rate එක වැඩි. Why? Due to the tenor. So then, due to the tenor, when the tenor goes up, when the tenor is extended, do we have to pay more? Of course. Why? Treasury bill, treasury bonds are the same. Treasury bond pays more than treasury bill. 5-year treasury bond pays more than 1-year treasury bill. What is this difference? Why do you want to pay more when the tenor is extended, when the tenor is more? Are you carrying a risk? We discussed government of Sri Lanka is not carrying a risk. Investing in government of Sri Lanka is not a risk. It's not a risk. So then why do you pay more? What is the difference? The maturity mismatch, maturity premium we call it, not the risk premium, the maturity premium. Right? For banks, of course, yes, when you have a 5-year fixed deposit, you have to pay more to keep the customer. Here, risk premium plus the maturity. Basically, the maturity premium, so the maturity risk is converted into risk premium in terms of banks and other financial instruments, financial institutions. But in terms of government security, we call it the maturity premium. Maturity premium, right? This is different. Right? In private institution or the banks and financial companies, we call it risk premium. But here, if it is government bonds, when you pay more for when the tenor goes up, when you pay more, meaning maturity premium only you pay. The only thing you remember is government security rates are inflation adjusted. After adjusting the inflation only, right? That is also keep in mind, right? Now, I just want to give you a introduction on this. This is more important. So I'll be uploading these. There are a few slides to treasury bill, treasury bond, and the result sheets of treasury bill, treasury bond this week, and also SLDB auction results and the SLDB auction advertisement. So you keep this with you. So we will be doing the questions based. The pricing calculation will be done based on this advertisement. So the advertisement basically it's very important for us to calculate the treasury bond pricing. Why? You must have seen this accrued interest. So we'll be learning later, right? So important, so we can justify and we can have an idea when you are doing this now, when the pricing comes to. So you have familiar, you must have, this is known factor. You don't know what accrued interest is, but doesn't matter. But you know that, okay, we have heard this. That's what I want. This is familiar to you now, right? Now, see now this advertisement gives everything on treasury bill. Apart from that, some relationships we'll be learning later. Now see, 56 million. Understand this is very important, right? Some questions examiner has tested, some question examiner has not tested. Now, say Democratic of Sri Lanka, Republic of Sri Lanka. Government issues on behalf of central bank issues on behalf of the. Here the government comes, here the central bank comes. That we have learned. Public Department, Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Right? Now see, 56 billion, 56,000 million, or the 56 billion. They need 56 billion rupees. How do they need it? 3 months, 91 days. So I'm just saying 3 months, but it should be 91. 15 billion government needs. 23.5 government needs 6 months. 1 year government needs 17.5. That's it. To be issued through an auction. We have been discussing. Now, this is the confirmation we have discussed. An auction. And you can see you are eyewitness now. Auction. This is auction based. Auction means people can put bids. Who are the people? These are the people. Who are they? Primary dealers. See the word primary dealers, right? In this scenario, Bank of Ceylon, People's Bank, and also Capital Commercial Bank, also we call it primary dealers. They are commercial bank, that's true, but in terms of government securities, we call them primary dealers. Right? Bank plus commercial bank plus they acting to double acting. Commercial bank plus integral part of primary dealer. Now the maturity period 91, 982, 364. ISIN number not tested so far by the examiner. ISIN number means what? International Security Identification Number. See the word. International Security Identification Number. ISIN number. Right. I will be giving a small note on this LKA. Now see LKA. This is treasury bill, right? Now see what comes as treasury bond. LKB. When you're given a question in your exam, the examiner says LKB meaning it's a treasury bond they are talking about. Now, another thing I want to highlight. Now, treasury bonds are long term, more than 1 year. Doesn't mean that I can't invest in treasury bonds less than 1 year. Does it mean that? No. I can invest. Provided primary dealers, the instrument is available with primary dealers. I can. Why do you say so? Now say take this instrument. This is 2023 tama maturing. 2020 exact 1000 maturing. Date of maturity. Everything is given. 15 November 2023. දැන් කෙනෙක් යනවා ගන්න මට මම යනවා ගන්න 2022 දෙසැම්බර් ප්‍රයිමරි ඩීලර් කෙනෙක් ළඟට ගිහිල්ලා 2022 ප්‍රයිමරි ඩීලර් කෙනෙක් ළඟට ගිහිල්ලා කියනවා මට මේ අර 6.30 කූපන් එක තියෙන බොන්ඩ් එකේ ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්න පුළුවන්ද කියලා අහනවා. Less than 1 year. 11 months only. But we have learned treasury bills are 3/612, treasury bonds are more than 1 year. Fundamentally wrong. Is that wrong? No. Generally, it is more than 1 year. Generally. There was a question in your exam. Treasury bill, treasury bonds, interest coupon now, generally payable. Frequency of the coupon rates are payable. There was a question. See the word general now. See, if you take your bank, now treasury bonds are very similar to debenture. No difference. When you're issuing a debenture in your bank, similar to treasury bond. What is the difference? Issuer is different. Treasury bonds are issued by the government of Central Bank of Sri Lanka on behalf of government. Debentures are issued by your bank. That's the difference. Other than that, everything is similar. But there is a slight difference. Your debenture, your banks or finance companies debentures, interest payment can be done according to your wish, according to your consent. Coupon can be coupon can be paid monthly if you want. Coupon can be paid, debenture coupon can be paid monthly, possible. Quarterly, possible. 6 months, possible. 1 year, possible. On maturity, possible. Everything is possible, provided investor likes to invest. 1 year එකක් කැමති නම් තමයි ඉන්වෙස්ට් කරන්නේ ඩිබෙන්චර් එකේ බැංකුවේ. හරි ෆයිනෑන්ස් කම්පැනි පොර හරි ආයතනය. So the debenture company, the debenture issuers are giving options 1A, B, C කියලා option දෙනවා. Quarterly ගෙවනවා interest. 6 month ගෙවනවා interest. 1 year ගෙවනවා interest. Right? You have options. Now when you come to treasury bonds, there is only one method of coupon payment, that is semi-annual. That's the question examiner tested. He used the word generally. He used the word generally. So generally, treasury bonds, government treasury bonds, coupons are payable at semi-annual, 6 months. Now see, dates of coupon payment, 15 May and 15 November. So I'll be coming later, don't worry about how this 15 May comes, how this 15 November, I'll be coming later. But see, May and this November, 6 months gap, අවුරුද්දට දෙකයි. May වලයි November වලයි. May bond එකේ අවුරුද්දට දෙකයි. 6 months, January එකයි, June එකයි. Like that. So I'll be showing it your latest debenture issue. I think commercial bank is also going to issue a debenture. I'll show it to you the prospectus. See the word prospectus. But when you're issuing a treasury bond, they don't issue prospectus, but you have to issue. It's a SEC requirement. Now when you're doing the SEC requirement is basically you will be learning if you are doing financial market operation. But we'll be discussing with the examiner test you compliance requirement. Before you issue a debenture, you have to be compliant. Certain set of rules imposed by the SEC. And after you issue debenture or share, after you issue, again, still you have to comply. That is we call continuous listing requirement. When you're being listed, when you are listed on the CSE or a Colombo Stock Exchange, before you get listed, you have to comply with certain set of rules. After you being listed, still you have to continue listing requirement. Now, for example, now if you take share registration or the listed shares listed in CSE, there are two boards, main board and D07 board. For you to invest your company, initial requirement is your company has to be public liability company. The public liability companies are only given the opportunity to invest listed in CSE. So there are 3 requirements for you to satisfy if you want to list in main board: continuous profit, net worth, and historical net worth. There are 3 methods. There are 3 criteria to be satisfied. Again, D07 board, there are 3 criteria to be satisfied: minimum capital requirement, minimum last 3 years profit, and the net worth. So D07 board has a lesser requirement. I mean the amount, right? Lesser requirement of amount compared to the main board. So there is a pre-listing requirement. So now you get the listing. Till now you have to comply. Annual general meeting compulsory. Annual report compulsory. Directors appointment you have to inform. Directors changes you have to inform. Any projects or any project which is price sensitive, inform. Everything has to be transparent. Good governance compulsory. So when so people like to invest in listed companies than the other companies, but still in Sri Lanka, listed companies also defaulted. Example is MTD Workers. MTD Workers is their debenture was defaulted, which is listed. Now debentures can be listed, right? There is no much debt market in Sri Lanka, sophisticated debt market in Sri Lanka like shares, but debentures also you can trade it, but only thing very few. Now shares and I can see the trading happens like shares. You can't have the same thing like shares with regard to debenture. You can't have it. You can't have it. There is no particular flow like yes. No, you don't have, but listed, transparent, corporate governance, everything has to be there. But still, there are companies who defaulted, even they are listed companies. So there are occasions like this. So basically it brings bad reputation. So how can we rely on these companies? So we think that listed companies are more transparent. We think that listed companies having sound corporate governance mechanism. Still, these kind of companies are bankrupt or defaulted. Their instrument difficult, right? So there are occasions. Now you know Kotagala plantation. Kotagala plantation. Listed company. Defaulted. So there are occasions like this. So then basically it basically brings back only thing what they have defaulted was the listed debenture. Debenture. Now you must have seen unit trust. Like shares, unit trust is also instrument available in Sri Lanka. So what's the difference between unit trust? Also understand though there was no tune on unit trust. I'll be giving later only the literal meaning, but understand the unit trust is a basically units. Now say I have money, but I don't have any idea how to invest this money. And in your syllabus, we have a separate topic called wealth management, portfolio management, and what else? Fund management. You are there to help me. I have money, but only thing I don't have time. I don't have expertise to where to invest. You are there. Investment banking people are there to help you. But unit trusts are there. There are companies in Sri Lanka who undertakes investment, and what do they do? They invest in separate items, especially in government securities and shares. They are creating a funds with all this money. There are few people, and they pool it into one. They pool it to one basket, and they are creating a fund, and they invest. And you have been given the return. There are companies like that. Unit trust. At the moment, these days, not attractive. Share market is not performing as you expected. It's going up, but hotel sector are not picking up. Some manipulation also. We have seen that the LLC finance, right? Remember that there was the investigation going on. Why the unusually prices have moved up. So when you're doing the share market, as our one part of it, you'll be learning the malpractices of share market. Now say understand now we have seen last few weeks this particular company shares went up. Other thing නෙමෙයි හිට. එක තියෙනක නෙමෙයි අනිත්. Going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up. So what do you think then? You as a normal investor, you have money. What do you think? Make a hit up if good at it. That's how you think. All these days going up, going up, going up. අද මම හිතනවා මේක හෙටත් උඩට යයි නේද? තවත් කිසියෙ උඩට ගියා. Now who is having this transaction? So we get together. Example, if we have 5 people, we get together. You buy, I sell. I sell, you buy. You buy, I sell. Among us only this transaction happens. So somebody is waiting outside. Innocent guy. He rings. මේක අදත් ගියා ඊයේත් ගියා හෙටත් මේ ගියා. So then he enters. Whatever. He purchases. Who sells? 5 of us only sells. So that's a pumping and dumping, which is a malpractice. Right? So there are a number of malpractices happening. Now you know 2009, after we finishing the civil war. Today you purchase, I think I have told you last week also. Today you purchase a particular share. End of the day, you can sell it at a profit. So do you want to pay money? You don't. Why? You have to settle the amount T plus 3. T plus 3 comes after 3 months, 3 days. Now today you can sell it. There was a market like that. Manipulation. Markets were not running at based on the value of shares, value of companies. But we have stringent rules, but still these things can happen. Has happened. They can be. Now you must have seen Brown's investment. There was an agreement between the port city with this Brown investment, prices escalated. But nothing in it, right? So they're expecting people are betrayed. So a lot of people are stuck in share market without realizing. Difficult. Like pumping, dumping, inside trading, front running, all those malpractices, examiner has tested for 5 months. Many times. And there is a high chance of testing recently introduced DVP method. I'll be giving a note on this towards the latter part, DVP method. Then recently they have now treasury bonds are DVP, RVP, right? Pay and receive. Now here, if you are a shareholder, if you are investing in share market, once you sell your shares go out of your portfolio, but you don't get immediately cash. You get 3 plus 3, but you are nothing. Shares ටික යනවා. සල්ලි හැම්බෙන්නේ දවස් තුනකට පස්සේ. So you are uncomfortable, right? You cannot default, that's true, but you have never been defaulted. CSE has none of the transaction. Customer given නැත්නම් broker company hari you have to pay. You are selling or you are buying shares through broker company. There are 24 broker companies. You'll be learning later. I'll be giving note on that. Through them only you are doing the transaction. If they say I am selling, you are buying. You don't have money to pay on the due date. Example. But I should receive money. I am the seller. Who pays if you don't pay? Broker company has to pay. Broker company person, you have to recover from the buyer. That's a different issue. But seller has to be settled. To avoid this, now they have introduced recently. Not in at the moment it is not in effect, but everything is set to implement. I think they have not implemented. Everything is set. I'm not sure whether they have implemented. I don't think so. I'll check that. Somebody was telling me it takes a little more time. I'll check. And what happens is now everything is set, right? They are anyway implementing it. So before the exam, they will implement. So what happens is when you sell the shares, similarly, the previous occasion, what happened? You sell, goes out of your portfolio, you will be receiving money after 3 days. But in this case, once you introduce the DVT method, you sell the shares and the comes the money on happen in the same day. It won't go out of your portfolio even you sell it. Why? Once you receive the money, then only your shares are then only your shares go out of your portfolio. So the money comes, shares goes out. Money comes, shares go out. Like so it happens simultaneously. It happens on the same day, same moment. There is no risk to anybody. There is no risk to anybody. That's what the SEC has intention to. That's why that's the method the CSE has looking for to implement. But everything is set. I'm not sure, pretty sure they have implemented it. I'll be seeing. I'll have a note on that. I'll let you know whether they have implemented it. I think so. They have implemented. But I think there's a discussion now. Examiner can test you. Now these things are not available in your notes. How do you get to know these things? By reading papers. The papers gives you everything what's happening around you. As I told you, so I'm reiterating, I'm refreshing, I'm telling you again. See, the new things happening in the financial world is available there. But only thing, last 6 months, the latest situation I'll be giving before you go to the exam. So I'll be giving a note on that new thing. Like this one is similar one. This one is one thing, and there are many more to come. Right? So we'll be discussing later with your. Now, only thing understand this special bill sheet. Since I have not taken much of this, since I have not uploaded, this is the latest one, right? So I would have uploaded the previous one, but we should do it latest one. So this one actually, this option is going to be held when 14. What is the date today? 11. So the next week, these are the latest batch. So the 14th, when you have it, Wednesday is the 14th, then you have 16, Sikurala, the settlement. On 16th, you should pay money. How do you get to know whether your bids are successful? On 14, before 11, you have to put bids. Is the right time period? Now see, bids are invited from primary dealers in government securities. Bids should be made only through the electronic bidding facility provided by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. Now all these primary dealers are provided special facility, special terminal. Generally, you should put before 11. Right? Now what happens is, I will tell you what happens is in the perpetual bond scandal. When system එක දීලා තිබ්බට perpetual bond was a those days primary dealer. HSB was a primary dealer, removed. Perpetual treasury was a primary dealer, removed. Entrust was a primary dealer, removed. They all are not there. What happens is, perpetual treasury bond, they knew that. Now this is the same thing. Port ඒ දවස්වල දවස් 3ක විතර පස්සේ තමයි මේ settle කරන්න තිබුණේ bond එක. They said we have a problem with the system. We can't put bids. You have to put bids only through this dedicated electronic bidding system facility provided by the Central Bank of Sri Lanka. They said they can't do that. They asked Bank of Sri Lanka to put bid on behalf of them. The Bank of Sri Lanka put bids. What happened? They have escalated 9% figure, they have taken 13%. Now, remember the other one is, when you put a bid on behalf of somebody else, the perpetual one, who put bid? Bank of Ceylon put bid on behalf of who? Perpetual treasury. But does the central bank know this? No, they don't know. They know only Bank of Ceylon has put bid. Now say here also the same. Now I have 5 million rupees. I have given this 5 million to equity example to invest or to bid on behalf of me. Now central bank knows equity is bid. Central bank, how does the central bank identify this bid? This bid put by equity security, not by my name. They don't worry about. They are not worrying about the individual. They actually identify this particular bid put by whom? Equity. But equity and myself, we have a separate transaction. But the bid goes as equities bid. Remember that. That's important, right? So basically, this maximum yield, the only thing this government has put, I'll be telling, I'll be later. The earlier days, 3 months old of Tiba Capta, 6 months old of Tiba Capta, now they have removed these two caps. Only thing you can't put more than 1 year on, you can't have it more than 5.25. Private dealers are not allowed to put more than 5.25, but you can put, but only the government will not accept. This is the maximum. If you want to invest, do it. If you want to get a successful bid, then do it 5.25 or below. Right? So we'll be learning how this how this mechanism comes. Any question before we wind up the class? Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Anything you need to clarify? The only thing, my request is just remember what we are doing. In at the moment, you don't want to study much hard. Sometimes you might feel this is new to you, but I must tell you, I have seen some new faces also. This is the very easiest subject you to pass in the exam, right? The pass rate, we have told last week also, more than 80, more than 75% this time, right? Very easy subject for you to pass. Only 46 marks is obtained, very much gettable. And another important factor is you will be learning the latest current affairs in the financial market. The financial market. So, any question on with regard to economy, with regard to the learning materials, teaching materials, what we are discussing, bring and ask. Then only you can learn it. Otherwise, just listening, you won't be able to do that. You can listen this video later also. If you are available at the moment, just watching, just listening to us, it is your duty. Basically, it's a duty. Now, generally, Sri Lankans are not asking questions. Sri Lankans are not asking questions. So, who will be benefited by that? Lecturers are only benefited. They don't want to find additional things. So, if they are not asking questions, I should not find out what's happening now. Only thing I will be delivering you to what I know. If you ask questions, I also can learn now. You have a different background. So now see, I don't know everything. With regard to investment banking, I don't know everything. Obviously, I don't want to get to know. But you also the similar, but you must be having a different view on it, which may be correct. So I'm also benefited. So the me talking is not possible, but I can understand when you are physically coming to the class, you will may ask questions. So I can see you all, but the only thing I won't be able to see you all. So that is the lacking part of online online learning, right? So sometimes people are switching on this and they're not available, but that's true. But only thing, if you come physically to the class, then you can have more attention. But I understand the weaknesses of having online teaching, online learning. So both the parties are not benefited much. But your exam is in November. The only thing you have a syllabus change coming. So probably 2020 second half. So only thing, don't skip, right? Don't skip the exam. Or try to do it on the first time, on the first attempt. That is my request. I have told many people not to postpone, right? So I'm requesting you as well not to postpone. Just don't worry about. Even you have not done anything now, you don't want to do anything. Don't look at this. Don't do. No need. You have November exam. Only thing now, initially you need to pass this exam. You can pass this exam easily. If you feel that something is important we are discussing, just write it down. More than enough. Even you don't write it down, I'll be giving you an entire what we have not available in the tubes later also. Important thing, which may be possible examiner to test you, right? So giving ample time of study. Don't worry for you to study. Uh, I know that whatever we say you won't study now. That's the pattern. So last minute study works very well. Some students, right? So you are not doing the same. This subject is not the only subject you are doing it. There are many subjects. So only thing, just keep in mind, try to give you more additional things because you are the cream of this country. So once you learn it, once you learn properly, you carry this message to society. So you are basically cream of this country. So you are the people who are taking this country forward, right? Wherever you work, might be in a bank, might be in a financial company, finance company, might be a student. Doesn't matter. I have seen many students first time they go through. See now, people who are working in a bank and the students, see the difference. Understand the difference. Student has no meaning whatsoever, no experience whatsoever, but not like banker. He's experiencing. I can remember before we wind up, give me 1 minute. When I go to the Bank of Ceylon, before I joined the bank, I had a dream, I had a confusion. How does this money goes out of to one place to another place? So if I deposit money to your account, I'm depositing here only, but you will be receiving somewhere else. So I had a problem, I have a confusion. How does money go? Now those days they have a branch advice. You're not knowing. You may be not knowing. You have not seen this branch advice. Then we have a claim voucher. So those are the instruments we use to send money and claim money. Now it's not available. Now only your phone transfer, right? Whatever the bank. Now those days you can't transfer to other banks. Now it's available now, right? So world has changed. Drastic change. Only thing, you have to be ready to take that challenge, right? So whatever the things you get to your your qualification is added advantage. Now remember, MBA is a not a now MBA has become a pre-qualification for you to become management training now. I have seen some banks, MBA is added advantage. So don't take it lightly. So whatever the things you take as addition. So then only you have challenging profile, right? So add something. So get qualification, get it qualified. and don't postpone this. This is easy subject for you to understand. You will have a later, what do you call this, revision sessions as well. You can pass this easily exam. Whatever the things you take this challenge, don't worry, you can pass this exam. Right? Any questions? Since you don't have no questions, I'll be stopping the class, winding up the class now. I'll be uploading. Most probably you will be receiving the Friday only, right? The result sheets are available this particular bond issue, treasury bill, treasury bond issue, Friday only. So I'll be updating. You can have next week. Can have a look at the next week, right? So any question you have? So then we'll be winding up the class. Thank you very much for listening. Right? Thank you.